Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Brian Shields. Thank you for sharing this channel and subscribing. Now, I want to get into a few things. The flash flooding potential in the Caribbean. I'm going to dive into that right here. Plus, I've been working on everything with El Nino. It's making a comeback. Global weather pattern, okay? So I'm going to break down the hurricane outlook with it, the start of the hurricane season, and the disease potential. It changes the weather patterns around the world. We have drought conditions. We have conditions that get so wet with flooding, and that really changes things, and that could lead to disease outbreaks. I'm covering that, so the tropical weather aspect of it, the disease aspect of it, on YouTube, on Earth QC. I'll put the link of that into the description and in these comments. So everything El Nino with disease and the tropics, again, on YouTube, on Earth QC. Very important. Flip over to that. And again, I'll keep you posted on that angle. Now, get back to the immediate weather concern, and that is the flash flood threat. We are thinking, of course, those in the United States that have been impacted by rounds and rounds of severe weather. That's still ongoing in spots. You see this front here. This may be catching your eye here near Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, near Anguilla. We've been seeing a buildup of some clouds. This here, that is going to get enhanced. We're going to see it kind of grow and not becoming tropical in nature, but that is going to lead to flash flooding in spots while still dealing with the drought conditions in parts of the Western Caribbean. So a big difference depending on location with this, but all of this will be tied together as we go over the next few days. So let me break it down. Small picture first, and then the big picture to cover everyone best I can. This is today, focus Eastern Caribbean. Now, spotty shower Jamaica. We had a couple yesterday. Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, anywhere from Guadeloupe down toward Martinique, St. Lucia, Barbados. But look at tomorrow. Let me stop it here. This is tomorrow afternoon. You're seeing it yourself here. This is what I've been talking about in the last few videos. There's the buildup of rain right on the edge of Dominica in north. Anguilla, higher chance of rain. Antigua and Barbuda tomorrow, back through Puerto Rico. Now, we have been very dry in spots. The ground is hard in spots. That means this rain, which will be substantial, will just run off. Streams could quickly fill up. Flash flood threat. Again, not for everyone. Very localized. Really watching anywhere from especially Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands through Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat on the edge of it, same thing, Antigua and Barbuda. Then as we get into Saturday, you see here, Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, even Haiti, the higher chance of rain. Now, some of this rain will lift up to the north, a developing system. I'll widen out in just a second, but also not only is the focus here, but a little bit enhanced here. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, for example, rain chances not too high. This action mainly staying to the north, but even back through Aruba in northern Venezuela, starting to pick up on more action, passing shower St. Vincent and the Grenadines Friday into Saturday, Grenada, St. Lucia, Barbados, and some of these extra clouds, while my friends over toward Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, we will be way too dry. Now, this was the smaller picture to kind of show you this, and I'm going to break down the rain and break down the winds and seas with this. Now, here's the bigger picture, the system I mentioned in the United States. Okay, this is here, and here's that buildup of rain. Now, what's going to happen is, let me take you out on time. I'll stop it here as we work our way into tomorrow on Thursday. There's the rain there, and then we'll be watching this system here in the United States drifting off to the east, and we'll kind of get tied into this. And there may be an area of low pressure that develops by the time we get into late in the weekend, even early next week. Let me just bring you out in time here. You can see the rain here. So by the time we get into Friday, still to the east of the Bahamas in Turks and Caicos, but that rain, again, as I showed you on the smaller picture, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, watching out for the flash flood threat starting tomorrow in through Friday especially. By Saturday, still that chance of showers, but you see the rain here. Could see some showers, Turks and Caicos, mainly still the east of the Bahamas, and then there goes that front. And look at the rain picking up a little bit, generally south of the ABC Islands as we get closer to Colombia and Venezuela. But watching as we go out on time, look what happens by the time we get into Saturday into Sunday. This is Sunday afternoon. We get a lot of moisture here. Now, what may happen is something kind of breaks off from this and spins a little bit. I'm not seeing it becoming tropical in nature, but it could actually build back toward the Bahamas. So early next week, in the Bahamas, that chance of rain is on the higher side. You see it right here. This may actually develop into a storm system, kind of drift to the south, and still parts of Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the chance of rain stays elevated all the way into early next week. That's why I need to carefully watch out for the flash flooding. If you live near one of those streams or creeks that could take a quick rise, please extra caution as we go over the next couple days if some of those rain totals stack up where you are. Speaking of which, let's get into some of those rain totals. Now, this white shading here, that's where we could get some higher rain. So it's going to be a close call. So say, for example, if you're in St. Kitts and Nevis, we may get next to nothing. There's a potential that we get a few passing showers, 25 millimeters of rain, which would be about an inch of rain. But it's such a close call. It's just a wait and see on the development of this. If the bulk of the rain is a little bit more to the south, we could go from 25 millimeters quickly upwards to 100 millimeters of rain or 4 inches of rain. And that's what I expect, 4 inches plus or 100 millimeters plus in parts of the Dominican Republic. Not for all of us, parts of the Dominican Republic on the edge of Haiti, Puerto Rico, in the British Virgin Islands and U.S. Virgin Islands near Anguilla. We're going to see some spots over 100 millimeters of rain. That would lead to flash flooding. And then down the road, we'll see, of course, how it evolves as we get back through the Bahamas. And again, depending on what happens early next week, we may see some similar totals in parts of the Bahamas. All right, let's get a look at the winds. Now, the winds today generally out of the east. So that passing shower, drier in the Western Caribbean. Seas are going to be up a little bit over here. Of course, the windier conditions on the coastal sections, Caribbean sections of Panama and Colombia. Seas roughly at about 4 meters. So that's over 13 feet right in this pocket here. Now, with this developing area, this is by the time we get into tomorrow, watching the winds still generally out of the east, but a little more coming in out of the southeast because eventually the winds are going to change. So they may be all over the place. Thinking of our mariners over toward the Virgin Islands, winds are going to be kind of shifty starting tomorrow. So just a heads up, so little extra caution there. And of course, some gustier winds. We'll have some of the winds gusting to about 56 kilometers an hour or 35 miles per hour. And then a little curl in the winds, more out of the south and then to the east, not really wrapping around like a classic system, but overall you see kind of the winds coming out of the east and then southeast and then kind of curling around this developing system as we get into Friday. So just a heads up for my mariners. And of course, the seas will stay choppy. Everything will stay on the bumpier side. Now, let me break down that rain chance for some of us just to give us a feel. Today in the U.S. Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands, a 40% chance of rain. Tomorrow and Friday, a 60% chance. Plus, it could be 100% just depending on how this system breaks down. Watching out for that flood threat, watching out for the isolated flash flooding. All right, as we get into Antigua and Barbuda, as I mentioned on the edge of it, this may shift up. Right now, tomorrow and Friday, about a 40 to 50% chance of rain, but it could easily switch if some of the rain nudges to the south, upwards of a 60 to 70% chance of rain. But as of now, about a 40 to 50% chance of rain, both tomorrow into Friday. Either way, it's going to be a little more active as we go over the next few days. Now, as we get back toward Puerto Rico, we're going to get locked into it. Thursday, Friday, into Saturday, a very high chance of rain. That's when we'll see the greatest risk of that flash flooding potential. I mentioned over 4 inches of rain or 100 millimeters of rain in spots, and it could come down pretty heavy and pretty quickly, and that could lead to that flash flood threat. So I'll be watching that as we go over the end of the week into the upcoming weekend. Jamaica, rain chance stays low the next couple days. Some passing showers like we've had, but on Friday, as I showed you, it does pick up some. Most of this rain will stay back to the north and back to the east, but the rain chance becomes a little more enhanced, so we will see that rain chance picking up some on Friday, even into Saturday. Scattered showers, not a washout as we work our way into Jamaica. Now, as we get back toward Haiti, for example, rain chance Thursday and Friday at 60%. My friends in the Dominican Republic, a little higher. By the time we get into Friday, upwards of a 70% chance of rain. So clearly, lots to cover. Isolated flooding possible, staying unsettled into next week. The Western Caribbean, spelled that wrong, got to take out an E. The Western Caribbean will be drier. And I do want to mention, I keep an eye on the earthquakes. We did have one in Panama, the Pacific side, just offshore. Didn't see many huge reports of damage. 6.3 magnitude. Let me know if you felt it or what you had where you are. So I want you to know I'm keeping an eye on that. And again, everything El Nino tropical wise, talking about hurricanes and the disease outlook, the drought outlook, thinking of our farmers and agriculture, that will be on Earth QC. The link on that, you could search it, or the link on that in this this video and in the description. I'll put it in the comments as well. So plenty going on. Please be safe. Let me know what's happening where you are. And thank you for sharing this channel with others and taking the time to subscribe. I hope you have a good rest of your day.